Hi, it's Karen with Living Our Dream Homestead, where today we're going to be making blueberry butter swim biscuits. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please click the button down below. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much. First thing we need to do is turn on our oven to 450 degrees. We are using a 9-inch baking dish for this recipe. You can use glass, you can use metal, or you can use ceramic. Now this recipe calls for buttermilk. If you use regular buttermilk, you could use glass, ceramic, or metal. But I am going to be using a buttermilk substitute, which has lemon juice in there, and it reacts sometimes to certain aluminum pans. So that is why I'm using glass. When the lemon juice reacts with an aluminum pan, it can take some of that metal off into your food, and then the taste will be off, and of course the discoloration, and let alone who wants metal in their food. I mean, I sure don't. So if you are using just regular buttermilk, you will be fine to use the metal pan. But if you're going to be making it the way I'm making it, then you definitely need a glass or a ceramic dish. Now the recipe honestly called for you to butter your dish, and in all honesty, I don't think you need to do that because we are actually going to be putting like a whole stick of butter in here and melting it on the bottom. And I don't think we need to grease the pan on the bottom. That would just be too much. If you want to, it's up to you. You can grease the sides. That probably would be okay, but we definitely don't need to grease the bottom because I just think that would be too much added in there, that it may make our biscuits soggy. So let's go ahead and turn around the camera so I can show you up close how to make these delicious blueberry butter swim biscuits. First thing we need to do, we need to go ahead and melt this butter. Now you can either go ahead and take it off the wrapper, which is a half a cup of unsalted butter is what we're going to be using. And you could put it in here and then put it in the oven for maybe not even 2-3 minutes because it's already, it's 450 degrees, and it will melt the butter in our dish. Or you can go ahead and melt it separately in a bowl, like in the microwave, and then put it into our dish is what I'm going to do. Now that I have my butter melted and in our dish, we are going to go ahead and push that aside. We need to take a medium-sized bowl. All I had was a large, so this is what I'm using. I put in 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. I put in 1/4 cup of granulated cane sugar. I put in 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And then I put in 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I went ahead and stirred to combine, and now we are going to go ahead and get ready to pour in our buttermilk. To make a buttermilk substitute, I am actually going to be using real lemons. Now you could use vinegar if you wanted to. That would be white distilled vinegar, but I'm going to be using lemons. So first, what I did is I had my lemon whole, and I kind of rolled my hand over it to release the juices. And now that I've cut my lemon with a knife, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze out the juice. I need about 2 tablespoons of juice. Now, if you're making buttermilk, it's just 1 tablespoon into our cup and then fill it up to the 1 cup level with milk. Now this recipe for the swim biscuits, it says it might take 2 cups of buttermilk. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze out my lemon and get 2 tablespoons and put it into the cup. And then I'll go ahead and add milk all the way up to the 2-cup line. Now that I've got my lemon juice in there, I'm going to go ahead and be adding 2% milk. Now if you had whole milk, that would be even better. And again, we are going up to that 2-cup line with our milk. Our recipe called for 1 3/4 cup of buttermilk. But again, it said if our biscuits were dry, we may use up to the 2-cup mark. So we'll go ahead and let this sit for about 5 minutes. We want the top to look like it kind of curdles a little bit. And then it will be like regular buttermilk. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you can see a little bit of chunks here. So that means our buttermilk is ready. I'll go ahead and pour in 1 3/4 cup of buttermilk. And then if our dough seems to be too dry, then I'll pour in the other 1/4 cup. Okay, as you can see, it looks like my batter is pretty moist, so I don't need that extra 1/2 cup of buttermilk. We now need to go ahead and add in our blueberries, and there's the blueberries I've got. Again, they were here on the paper towel draining so I can remove the extra moisture. Now, if you used fresh blueberries, you would not need to do this step. I use this step because I was using frozen. So I'll go ahead and take those blueberries and I will go ahead and stir them gently into our batter. Now this is normal for some of the butter to go over the top of the biscuits. When I had to get it in the pan, I used the spoon to smooth it out all over the pan, or you could go ahead and grease your fingers and then slowly, stretch the dough over into your pan. Now, before we put it in our oven, we are going to take a really sharp knife and we were going to just kind of cut through just to make a little bit of lines so it will be easier when it gets baked to get it and cut it once it gets out of the oven. Like so. And now we need to go ahead and put it in a 450-degree oven, and we are going to bake it for 25 to 30 minutes. And then I will show you when these blueberry butter swim biscuits are done. The blueberry butter swim biscuits is all done. I went ahead and put a toothpick in the center and put it in, and it came out clean. So we'll go ahead and let these biscuits cool, and then I will go ahead and work on the glaze. To make the glaze, I took a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, and I'm going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. I'm just using 2% milk. If you had whole milk, you could use that as well. And then I'm going to try to get the consistency I want. I may need to use more than 2 tablespoons. Here's the glaze. I added about another 2 more tablespoons of sugar because I had it a little bit more runnier than I would like. So let's go ahead and pour this over our top of our blueberry butter swim biscuits. Here's those blueberry butter swim biscuits up close. Don't they look delicious? Let's go ahead and have a taste test. Well, let's go ahead and try this blueberry butter swim biscuit. It looks delicious. It's still warm. I think it's fabulous. You taste the butter, of course, with, that whole stick that we put in there, but I do taste the blueberries as well. And with it being just warm, it just hits the spot. Now this would be perfect to serve for your mom for Mother's Day, or of course you can serve it any other time. The only thing that I did different in the recipe is the glaze. It actually called for 1 cup of powdered sugar. And in all honesty, that's like a lot of sugar that you would be putting all over those biscuits that I don't think needs to be in there, but if that's what you would like, I will link down below in the description where I found the recipe. So I only ended up doing a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, and then because of the consistency, I did add an extra 2 tablespoons in there to get the consistency that I wanted. Again, it's whatever you would like to do. Well, thank you for watching. This was Karen with Living Our Dream Homestead. I hope you have a good day.